Thank you for your comments about wanting to get information to Congress and answer our questions. Rex Tillerson, the Secretary, was here on June 14th, and of course we only get 5 minutes, and a lot of us have a lot more questions than that. That's why we have questions for the record. But the questions for the record for the June 14th hearing haven't been answered yet. I wonder if you could commit to having the June 14th questions answered, the vast majority of them by October 15th and all of them by October 31st?
Well, I think I can do better than that, Congressman Sherman. I believe I heard this morning on my way up, and it is strictly a coincidence, I assure you, that those questions, those responses were provided this morning. If there are any that are outstanding, I will make sure that they're provided.
I am eagerly awaiting one of those, and that is, I asked, you're submitting a budget that involves drastic cuts, and the Secretary agreed to say how he would propose spending 10 or 20 or 30% more money than the administration was asking for, because that would give Congress the expert view, or at least the executive branch view, of not only how to spend the amount of money you're talking about, but if we decide how we would allocate more. And I hope that you can commit to answer the QFRs for this hearing within 30 days. Can you do that?
Absolutely.
This reorganization plan, I hope, is not a cover for cuts or a reason to delay filling posts. Others have asked you about that delay. And when it comes to the administration has a muscular tone in its foreign policy. Sanctions are an important part of that. Sanctions are very labor intensive. It's not a matter of just giving a speech at a rally. It's a matter of convincing a Danish or a Dutch bank or government on this deal or that deal. And I would hope that you and the Secretary would convince the President that a muscular foreign policy requires a fully staffed State Department. Tom Lantos was our chairman here. He pushed forward legislation that created the Special Envoy on Global Anti-Semitism. I know your department is committed to filling that post. Can we count on that being filled fairly soon?
You have my word on that, Congressman. If I don't, it's my fault, and I assure you it will be filled promptly.
Okay. Now, there has been a report of a plan to transfer the Bureaus of Population, Refugee, and Migrations and Consular Affairs to the Department of Homeland Security. Can you put those rumors to rest?
I can.
That's not under consideration?
That is not under consideration.
That is a great answer. We have all around the world consulates. The consulates report to the embassy, and the embassy reports to Washington. The one exception to that is our consulate in East Jerusalem, and I wonder whether part of your reorganization could be to have the same policy there as everywhere else and have the consulate in East Jerusalem report to the embassy.
Well, the issue of our embassy in Israel, as you know,
yeah, I'm not asking the bigger question about moving the embassy to Jerusalem. I'm just assuming we keep the facilities that we have now. Would the consulate in East Jerusalem report to the embassy, which is currently located in Tel Aviv?
I would certainly take that under advisement, Congressman.
The department, not everything that relates to foreign policy can be in the State Department. I would hope that you would provide guidance, as you have a process of doing, to the BBG, the Broadcasting Board of Governors, about the importance of broadcasting in the regional languages of Pakistan. I don't have to tell you that this is while North Korea has one language, Pakistan has several, and if you're trying to reach the population of this important country with over 100 nuclear weapons, you can't just broadcast in Urdu and Pashtun. And finally, I'm going to ask you to convey to the Secretary of the Treasury or the Assistant Secretary for Tax Policy the importance they have to allocate their time and where to negotiate a tax treaty, and they've been doing it on kind of a paint-by-numbers basis, how big is the GDP of this country or whatever, ignoring the geopolitics. And there are places in the world where having a tax treaty furthers the objectives of the State Department. And your Assistant Secretary of Europe testified in a smaller hearing that having a tax treaty with Armenia is important geopolitically, and I hope we could get that influence over to the Treasury Department.
I'll do so.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to Joe.